Coming up right now is the results for SummerSlam 2014. You can already check the rest of the channel and see my predictions video, which was uploaded the night of the pay-per-view, to see what you think. I've got to be honest, I pretty much called it spot on, except for one of the results. Every single one out of every match that I predicted was right, except for the kickoff match, which I'll get out of the way really quickly because I haven't seen, so I can't really rate it or review it. RVD beat Cesaro. I can't think of the booking logic there. I can't understand why, unless Cesaro's done something to fall out of favour. Either way, whatever. Rob Van Dam won, and who cares? You know, I loved RVD back in the day, and I still respect him. But why is he there? Now, bearing in mind, these aren't going to be in any particular order. I'm going to obviously leave the main event for last, but I'm going to talk about these in however way I want. It doesn't matter which came first, the chicken or the egg. So, just bear with me. I'm going to go through each match as they follow. Rusev versus Jack Swagger. It's not really a capture the flag or a flag on a pole match. It was just some sort of match where you waved your flag at the end of the match or whatever it was. Not too bad. The entrances were quite nice. Obviously, as Rusev isn't American, he's instantly hated, and Jack Swagger was, well, he was over with the crowd and having the lovely entrance with the military. It was a nice touch, even though it was a little dated and cliched. A nice little match where Swagger attacked at the start and had him in the ankle lock for a bit, so Rusev's supposed to be injured and can't put any weight on his foot. It's a bit silly, seeing as Jack Swagger's technically the face in that match, and that's a sort of heel thing, but I don't know. I don't get a lot of booking questions in the match layouts anymore. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. Rusev mounted his comeback, and you know, check out the predictions video for this one. Rusev went over. He had him in the Cobra Clutch, Camel Clutch, whatever they're calling it nowadays, until Jack couldn't continue, and then he waved his flag and beat the shit out of Dutch Mantel, whatever his name is now. Not a bad match overall, you know. Before I carry on, I just want to say this is the first SummerSlam I've watched in the entirety since I think it was 2005, which was Hollywood, Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. First time and last time, pretty much, match. And I have to say, I haven't enjoyed a pay-per-view from the WWE all the way through in a long time. And good props to WWE, to Vince, Triple H, everyone involved. It was a pretty good pay-per-view. I would go so far to say I enjoyed it a bit more than Mania this year. I thought Mania was pretty average compared to WrestleMania's 10 and 20 in regard to this being, you know, another landmark of number 30. So now I've got that out of the way, I'll continue. Another match I want to quickly talk about. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now this was a cracker. A lumberjack match is obviously supposed to keep the participants in, you know, you're supposed to throw them back in, and we had that every now and again. Seth was thrown out a couple of times, and you know, he was just chucked back in. Whenever Dean was chucked out, he started slapping people. I'm pretty sure it was Dean, and I love that. It just shows that this character he's not a heel or a face. He's like Bad News Brown. He's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's just going to do what the hell he wants when he wants, and that's what makes him the loose cannon, the lunatic. I refuse to call him lunatic fringe. Sorry, folks, but that's what makes his character so interesting. The match was great. You know, the spots where he got out the ring, where he absolutely leveled every one of the lumberjacks by jumping through the ropes or jumping off and everything. Absolutely, pardon my French, fucking amazing. Then it went everywhere, and Seth was trying to get away. Dean was dragged back to the ring or carried back, and then Seth was carried back by everybody. It was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Really entertaining. It didn't have as much heat as, to say, Randy Savage and Ric Flair from WrestleMania 8 match, where there was pure hatred there. that's the only thing that this match lacked. If it would have had that aura about it as well, that intensity, I think this match would have been match of the night, if not the match of the year candidate. If it would have had that aura about it and a little bit more intensity. But I can't take anything away from this match. It was a joy to watch. It was absolutely hilarious and absolutely brilliant on behalf of what they're doing. Neither of these guys looked poor. Neither of them looked weak. They looked really, really good. The finish was great, where Kane came in and screwed Dean Ambrose, and then Goldust got in his face, and then all the Lumberjacks and it all just kicked off, and then Seth, stole the victory. Fantastic. A great little match, a great way to, continue the feud. And as it went on to Raw, if you've seen it, with Dean getting the ice bucket, chucking it at Seth Rollins and proceeding to smack the living fuck out of him. It's brilliant, and obviously they're going to segue away from these two wrestling all the time, but hopefully we're on the right road. It's not slowing down for anybody. We've actually got some solid plans leading into the new year. That brings us to the next match with another member of the Shield member, Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. Now, I've never watched Roman Reigns. I don't particularly care for the character. To cut a long story short, I will say something that we'll ultimately cover in We're Rebooking. Seth Rollins, for his size, his muscular build, he would look, if he wasn't dumbed down with this stupid hair and kiddie gimmick of the Superman punch, he could have presented a legitimate threat to the Brock Lesnar we're now seeing. And I'll get back to that in a little bit later on. Instead, we've got this Superman punch throw in, you can't see me, John Cena wannabe, John Cena 0.5. And I really couldn't be bothered with this match. Randy Orton was his same old, Randy's always a great technical wrestler. It's always nice to watch Randy move in the ring. He's quite fluid. He doesn't really miss it that often. He does have his temper tantrums, which is fair enough, but overall he's pretty good. The match itself, Roman didn't look lost. He didn't look like he wanted to be there as much. It just seemed as though he was taking a lot of instructions from Randy Orton. If anything, I would turn around and say Goldberg back in the day when he first started looked a hell of a lot better than this guy. And this guy's been with the Shield for 2 years, and he was in Florida before that. And this is the guy to take over the face of the company. I'm not one to hold anyone's ability against him, because I loved the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid, and I love Goldberg. I love Hulk Hogan when I was a kid. Not that I like him anymore now, but I'm a big fan of these people that are larger than life and they don't really have the greatest moveset. But Roman Reigns, I'm not sold. He's definitely going to need someone like a Bret Hart versus Steve Austin match to make it for me. But Randy lost and Roman Reigns took the victory. I did like when he went for the spear, he did the power slam. I thought that was a fantastic reversal from Randy, and that's one of those typical Randy Orton moves. That power slam looks a bit hokey. I always said that the best people to do power slams were like Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Arn Anderson, even the British Bulldog when he was alive and doing some great stuff back in the day. But Randy Orton's power slam, when it's done right and used in the right time, it looks absolutely fantastic. But Randy came away, he's not lost anything by losing, and he's always a great man to start elevating talent because he does what he does in the ring. He's absolutely brilliant. The Intercontinental Championship match is one that I turned around and said that no one really cares, and after reading up a bit more, after watching the pay-per-view on the Monday, because obviously here in the UK it's on at stupid o'clock in the morning, Ziggler and The Miz have fought each other, according to Matthew from Botchamania, like infinity plus 1 times. So instantly, no one's going to care, and as I've said that, you've got 2 former world heavyweight champions, and I use that term loosely, fighting for what used to be the second best championship in the company, and used to mean pretty much as much as the heavyweight world championship. And no one cared, and to be honest, I'm not going to waste any more time. Dolph Ziggler took the belt. It was an okay match, but if you've seen it 100 times on Raw and you've seen it on whatever SmackDown or another pay-per-view, then why are you going to bother investing it on SummerSlam? So Ziggler went over, took the belt, and then they had a rematch on Raw, which I think The Miz won by count-out because Ziggler hurt his knee. So again, a pointless rematch for another pointless rematch. So yeah, whatever. Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Now, that was a pretty entertaining bout as well. I do now like the Bray Wyatt character. I have a lot of respect for this guy. It's not the best gimmick in the world, and you can tell that this is a guy who's just been given it, and he knows his time could be very, very limited in WWF. Sorry, the WWE. And he's just thought, do you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to put all my money on this character. I'm going to get the tattoos. I'm going to grow my hair. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to invest in this character. If this is the best they can give me, after, I think, was he Husky Harris before? Or was that his brother, the other one, Bo Dallas? But, if this is the best they can give him, my hat's taken off to the guy. The man deserves respect from everybody that's in the wrestling world as a fan, because if this is the best gimmick that WWF could give him, sorry, the WWE could give him, then he's doing fantastic with it, because I've never seen a guy that's supposed to be a heel. He looks nothing like what Vince normally goes for. He's not muscular like John Cena and Brock Lesnar. He's not as athletically fit as what Lex Luger would be, or, you know, even Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton. The guy is like Earthquake in half, and he's over. When he came out with the little lantern, there was thousands of kids and adults with their mobile phones, or cell phones for you guys in America, with the lights on. If that isn't telling you that this guy is over and he's going to be turning face soon, I don't know what is. The guy is great. He's good in the ring. He's a good little promo. He's a bit lost after his losses to Cena, which everybody is when they're new talent, because Cena shouldn't be fucking beating all the new talent. He should be losing now, because he's not going to lose any credibility. More on that later. But the match itself was good fun, you know. They'd fought each other at Battleground. I haven't seen that, so I won't comment on it, but it was a nice, entertaining match. And Bray's commentary all the way through the match saying, you know, to hate me, you have to hurt me, or to help me, you have to hurt me, and all that. It's great. And a lot of people say, yeah, it's a bit stupid and this, that and the other, but you're looking at the crowd. They've got the picture of the buzzard that's on his shirt. They're quoting his lines. They have the cell phone lights on. This guy's going to go somewhere. He might, like I said in the predictions video, he might not be like the next Hulk Hogan, but he's definitely going to be a $1 million man. He could even be like a Bret Hart, where he's a high mid-card, you know, bottom upper card sort of thing. As for the match, it was really, really technical. It was good fun to watch. You know, the code breaker was hit. The bit where he did the Bray Wyatt, sorry, did the spider. I've never seen that. I watched his match with Cena at Mania, but I don't think I really paid attention, so I didn't see it. But that was really weird. I mean, for a guy that size to be that flexible and to do that, again, my hat's off to him, and that's something you don't see in every other person. What also helped was the fact his cohorts, the Wyatt family, weren't at the ringside as well, so it was more emphasis on the match between the two. And Y2J, for all my criticism to him, he was brilliant. He was a great professional, and Jericho's doing what Shawn Michaels did when he returned. He's putting guys over, and he's helping the young talent. Y2J's got nothing to lose and everything to gain by doing this, and the finish was absolutely fantastic, with what happened outside of the ring with the Sister Abigail to the railing, and then inside. A great ending. And if they do a rubber match, or if that was the rubber match, sorry, I'm all for watching one more match with them, and then hopefully it'll move off for Bray slowly turning against the Wyatt family and renouncing his evil hillbilly ways. So yeah, Bray Wyatt won that one. Yet another one I predicted right, so moving on. To say I was very surprised with the ladies at SummerSlam is an understatement. Paige and AJ Lee was going to be fun anyway, because Paige is a pretty good wrestler, and so's AJ. You know, it was a short affair, but it was really, really good. It was nice to see Paige get the belt back, which I predicted. and to use, I believe it was Conan's move called the Revenge. It was in WCW NWO Revenge, I think, for the N64 as well. A good little match, you know. It's one of the better women's matches, and we're still going to see more from this Page feud. So hopefully, this last match, which should be coming up in Night of Champions, should be the end of it. Looking at Raw on Monday, that seems to be where they're going to go. But yeah, it was a really good fun match. There wasn't really much that was terrible about it. There wasn't any blown spots majorly or anything, but very, very good match. Paige was brilliant, AJ was brilliant, so I can't say much more about that. The one match I do want to say did surprise me was the Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon. Now, I watched Stephanie McMahon back in the Attitude Era in 2000 when she came out with Triple H and won the women's belt, and I watched a couple of her matches. And to say she was terrible is an understatement, and it was just, what the hell is she doing here? She's obviously just doing this because she's Vince's daughter, you know, she's trying to outdo Shane. And it was like watching paint dry, and I've never watched a Brie, or I think is it Nikki, wrestle, but from what I have seen on like clips or whatever whenever I've caught a Raw, it was just terrible, you know. I think they were the ones doing the swapping under the ring like Doink used to do, you know, at some point, and it just looked so terrible. But then when they came out at SummerSlam, all that went away. I will take my hat off, and if I ever was to meet Stephanie McMahon, I would shake her hand and say, do you know what? I respect you now as a worker. You've actually done the impossible. You've come out and proven everybody wrong. Whether it's because, you know, she hasn't been in the ring for over 10 years and didn't want to look bad, or didn't want to show anything up on the network, or anything, I don't know what it was, but Steph came out and she kicked ass. She looked fantastic. She didn't look out of place. She didn't look terrible in the ring. She actually looked better than some of the people that are on the roster. I would be hard-pressed to see if Matthew can fit her into Botchamania for that. The thing is, you've got people that are on the roster and people that are coming back onto the roster, and I'll use The Rock here, so anybody that hates me for hating on The Rock, I don't care, because it's the truth. The Rock is huge, The Rock is muscular, The Rock works out every day, but he doesn't do cardio, which is why when he was in a tag match with John Cena at Survivor Series, he was blown up in 30 seconds. Same as when he fought John Cena at WrestleMania, same as when he fought CM Punk at Royal Rumble. Every single time, The Rock is not cardiovascular anymore. He's just full of muscle. That isn't what makes a wrestler. It never has been, never will be. Now, you can say what you want about the Ultimate Warrior, but at least the guy could work. He had a bit of cardio on him. And that is the thing with Steph McMahon. She came out and she put The Rock to shame. She wasn't sweating. She wasn't blown up. She wasn't anything wrong at all. She looked like she belonged in that ring. And she looked like she deserved to have a championship run. Same as Brie. She was fantastic as well. She hit her spots the right way. She did everything. And the twist came out just like I predicted it. Triple H came out, fucked with the referee, and Nikki ran in, pushed Steph out of the way, and BAM! Battered Brie with the greatest forearm I've seen in ages. She looked like she really meant that, and you can tell where this feud could end if they do it like I said in the predictions video, where Brie, to end it all, is stacked against Steph. Nikki's as the referee or the timekeeper. Triple H is the other thing. It's a lumberjack or whatever, and Daniel Bryan comes out to save the day, just like in Rock versus Triple H in Backlash 2000. And it would be a great send-off, a great finish to the match, and at least they can embrace it, and we'll see Daniel back, even if it's just for 5 minutes on a pay-per-view. Also, stick out and watch Raw, because I'm tempted to buy the t-shirt that Steph wore. It was fantastic. Instead of yes, 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 we got a Steph, Steph, Steph. So, by all means, that for me was a great match. Considering I was expecting it to be one of the worst things I'd ever seen, I was entertained, and I really do respect both the ladies there, and I have a lot more respect for Stephanie McMahon now for being able to say to the people and say to the haters, look, I can wrestle, I can put together a match that isn't going to be terrible, and it was highly entertaining, and I think fantastic. You know, if she comes back and does another match, maybe it'll be the same. But who knows? But yeah, Steph went over just like I predicted and in the way I predicted, so I'm quite happy with that. But we're going to move on now to the main event. Let's put it this way, folks. I don't think anybody in the world could have predicted exactly how this match was going to go out. I know everybody was predicting the outcome, and I know everybody, 50% of the crowd was for and against when it came to predicting this match. It was either going to be Cena's going to win and then drop it to somebody else, or Brock Lesnar's going to win, and then we're either not going to see the belt all the time, or he's going to just drop it back at the next pay-per-view, which would be pretty pointless. So we're done with that. That was the argument for this match. Like, who was going to win? What would they do with the belt? The fact is, I think this pay-per-view match, as fun as it is to watch Cena being chucked around like a rag doll, because I'll discuss that bit in a second, the pay-per-view main event, I think, made a bigger problem by doing this match the way they did. Let me explain for a second. Brock Lesnar came out to the match, and he's faced John Cena at Extreme Rules 2012. He's fought The Undertaker, Mark Henry, The Big Show, and Triple H and CM Punk. At no point did he look like he was doing anything like the UFC. Did he look like he could just turn around and kill him? In this match, they decided to do that exact thing. They presented the Brock Lesnar that should have been presented right from the start, where he's not going to take 5 seconds to put anybody on that roster in the hospital. From the minute the bell went off, he was suplexing Cena, like people just get out of bed. 16 suplexes. 16 suplexes. I haven't seen that many suplexes since Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit teamed up back in the day. It was just absolutely mental. John Cena was squashed worse than, say, like Barry Horowitz back in the day. Go back and look at any of the jobbers. They were never treated as bad as John Cena was at SummerSlam. And this proves that Brock Lesnar was super over. This is how they should have presented the Brock Lesnar return. Brock has come from the UFC, where he's a legitimate tough action person, and he should be just tearing through the roster. He would have looked so much better going into WrestleMania 30 against Taker like that, instead of what was given to us. Now, Cena did have a bit of offense, but it was nice to see Cena selling for once, with the knees to the ribs, and he was given a bit of offense. When he jumped out of the F5 and reversed it to, I think it was the AA. You don't call it the FU anymore, do you? And when he couldn't pin Lesnar and he was over across the ring, then Lesnar sat up like Undertaker and then stuck his tongue out and was laughing and just dancing around like saying, "Come on, boy, get up," That was entertaining, because it looked like it dawned on everyone in the ring, and even like Cena, the character, I think I'm going to lose this match. And as it's when people say it's not real, I understand, yeah, but as a story, that should be the case of, now this guy is sat up from the best I can give him. Oops. That's what would be going through your head. So then Lesnar proceeds to beat the ever-living piss out of him again and start suplexing the shit out of him again, and then Cena manages to put on the STF. Now, I know there's a lot of Cena haters, and trust me, I'm one of the biggest critics as well, but that was probably the best looking STF he's ever put on, and he's put on that move a lot. And fair play for actually trying to give it some legitimacy at the pay-per-view, but again, why is Brock going to have 10 seconds of a problem with that when he's been in the UFC and having to do arm bars and leg locks, and he just got out of it with ease, and then got back to beating the piss out of him, and then beat John Cena for the championship. That's our champion now. That's the WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. He was awarded a new single championship belt on Monday with the newly designed logo. More on that another time. And then Heyman cut the promo. John Cena's not here this week, blah, blah, blah. Plug in the network and everything. And all that was tickety-boo. And then on Tuesday at the main event, they announced that John Cena is going to, have a rematch. Now, I discussed this with Dickie Hats and said to him, this rematch, the only way it should happen, it should be one of two things. One, if it happens immediately, is to get it out of the way, and Cena just goes in and is just fucking killed in 30 seconds. It should just be one right hand, he knocks him the fuck out, and he's F5'd and he's going home. It's simple as that. If Lesnar's done that to him at SummerSlam, there's no way they can put a legitimate match on the following month and expect Cena to be over, because no one's going to look at it, everyone will be laughing at it. Or they do the slow build and have him training to get back together. You know, to get back up to full strength, or to figure out a weakness of Lesnar, anything like that. But obviously Cena's got to be back on the main event, so that part there shows that maybe Brock Lesnar isn't going to be around for the next pay-per-view. He's going to drop the belt back to Cena, which if they do that, it's going to be the worst case of booking since WWE fucked the Invasion. You've just presented Brock Lesnar as the ultimate beast incarnate who cannot be stopped, who just tears for everyone, and the next month he's going to lose to the same guy he just threw around like a rag doll. That's not going to work. If Cena would have had a fighting chance and looked like he was a worthy adversary, I'd accept the rematch, but no. Not like this. This is just going to be... This is a clusterfuck to end all clusterfucks, pardon my French, but what do I know? The problem we've got with this pay-per-view is now they've done this with Brock Lesnar, there is not one person on that roster now that legitimately looks like they could end Brock's reign as the championship. The problem they've got now with how they showcased John Cena at SummerSlam is they've also portrayed Brock as this unstoppable killing machine, and the fact is there's no one on that roster that is in anywhere near that level to stop Brock. And this is where I commented on Roman Reigns. He physically looks like he could step into the ring and go face to face with Brock Lesnar. Because he's been dumbed down with this kiddie Superman punch, this stupid haircut and ridiculous ring attire, I can't take him legitimately as an adult. Yes, I know wrestling is predetermined. Yes, it's fixed, blah 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 blah. But it's a whole point of you can suspend your disbelief and think, yes, I can take this character and I know he's going to go about it. It's not like Rey Mysterio is going to go up against Andre the Giant and you think, yeah, Rey could have a chance of winning that. No, because it's completely different. It's a stupid little thing. Brock Lesnar now has been portrayed as the most dominating thing on the planet, and if Cena wins, you know it's going to be by some way of cheating, or it's just going to demean the fact that Brock did all that amazing work at SummerSlam to destroy John Cena. It also brings to the fact that John Cena is going to be in yet another main event. Why? Answer me that, seriously, why? Why put the WWF Championship on the line at Night of Champions? Why didn't you build the Intercontinental Championship back up? Why didn't you build the Tag Team Division? Build the US belt. Do something like that. Why do we have to have a rematch to one of the most one-sided championship matches ever in the WWF? Sorry, the WWE. Old habits die hard. My whole problems with that whole product is little things like that. There's not enough genuine people there to headline. There's, you know, Randy Orton couldn't go into the ring with Brock Lesnar legitimately, because just looking at him, Lesnar wouldn't have half the problems with Randy Orton as he did with John Cena. It's just ridiculous. So, looking ahead to Night of Champions, I'll give you a predictions video probably closer to the time when all the matches are laid out, but it's either going to be Lesnar keeps the belt or Lesnar drops the belt, and either way it's going to be pretty stupid. You know, and yet another John Cena Lesnar match. So right now we're on number 4. Is this number 4? So it'll be their third match in the last 3 years, which is pointless. You know, you're just wasting all your opportunities. You should save this for Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. You know, John Cena builds himself back up to be a credible threat to Lesnar or whatever. But no, we're going to do a Vince Russo and all that, and we're going to rush it out to the next pay-per-view because we don't have any faith in anyone else. But I've been Retro Phil. This has been my recap and review of the SummerSlam 2014. Before I put an end to it all, I just want to say it was probably one of the most fun pay-per-views that I have watched in, wow, in years. I haven't really watched Manias that often, and I normally just flick through to the matches that I want to watch. I really enjoyed this SummerSlam. It's one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. Like I said, I haven't watched the SummerSlam all the way through since 2005, but it was very entertaining. I was very surprised by the women's matches. Like I said, I was very surprised at Brock Lesnar's match with John Cena, and I was really surprised with Bray Wyatt's entrance to see how much the fans are actually sticking to him. So I think we've got a nice future for the WWF. Sorry, the WWE. I keep doing this. With or without Daniel Bryan, which is the thing that's gonna be a right pain. Again, if the original match was gonna be Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar, wow. Because if that's what would have happened to Daniel Bryan, that would have been a very interesting reaction. I think Brock Lesnar would have been absolutely hated. I think listening to the crowd though, everyone was, I wouldn't say they were cheering, they were just booing Cena because, you know, they just don't want Cena to be there anymore. Cena's got past the point of being unpopular to being, you know, so past. They don't want him there now, they just had enough. But the pay-per-view was very, very good. I definitely rate it to hunt down and watch. If you're going to buy the network, fine. Or buy the DVD or Blu-ray. I mean, why not? It's worth adding to your collection. It's definitely one of the better pay-per-views that I've seen recently. So, yeah, I'll definitely give it a B+ for all the efforts they've done. And one nice little thing is there wasn't much filler. There wasn't all this crappy promo stuff in between everything and stupid people coming out. Oh, speaking of that, Hulk Hogan comes out at the beginning to plug the network. And then he disappeared again. But anyway, it was nice. It just literally went from match to promo, building up the match, and so on. Rinse and repeat. Match, promo, match, repeat. But yeah, B+. Get the network and watch it, or just simply buy the DVD when it comes out and watch it, and you'll be very surprised, especially when you watch the Stephanie McMahon match. I think that would be one that everybody is surprised with, for the right reasons, because she proves she can work, and obviously this one might sell a lot because you get to see John Cena being treated like a jobber. But again, I've been Retro Phil. This has been whatever we want to call this wrestling thing, you know, these reviews and recaps and whatever. But yeah, stick around. Please don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe to the channel for more wrestling stuff, videos on gaming, walkthroughs, film reviews, you know, anything we can sink our teeth into here. Pretty soon we're going to have a weary booking starting up for myself and Dickie Hats. If you look us up on Twitter, you'll find us on there. And like I said before, we're going to take some classic either wrestling angles or wrestling turns, or a certain match we want to see booked a different way. So we might take a look at how the invasion was done, like everybody has done. We might look at how we're going to turn John Cena face. We might rebook how CM Punk got to face The Undertaker. We might book John Cena versus The Rock. We might book Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. You know, if you want to rate, comment and subscribe, even make a comment in the comment section and let us know what you would like us to take a look at and rebook. But take things easy. Like I said, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. Thanks for supporting our channel. Have a good one.